Garden. I'm Len Schroeder.
And I'm Julio Zamora.
And on today's show, we're going to talk about cats.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you have a house cat?
No, I don't.
No? All right, I do. The cats need to graze. Did you know that?
No, like cows.
That's right. Kind of.
We're going to talk about also feeding the birds. Safflower.
Safflower.
Yes.
And then we're going to talk about camellias. My camellia is flowering.
Oh, that's great.
And it's beautiful. If you go to Bloomer's Facebook page, so it's basically Facebook / Bloomer's Home and Garden Center, just everything spelled out.
Nice.
You can see a picture of my beautiful camellia. It's
Nice.
amazing. Amazing.
Beautiful. And then we're going to talk about empty space that you have now left over because you took out your Christmas tree.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know there is a big hole.
Big hole.
Yeah, finally, we're going to dream a little dream about our garden and start planning for spring.
So stay tuned, and we'll be back after this short break. Garden. Well, Len, I know you have one cat and you have another cat.
I do. All right. Listen, I was always a dog person. Okay,
I know.
Riker's my boy.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
Big happy yellow lab.
Oh yes.
And guess what? I'm now becoming a cat person too.
You're kidding.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Okay.
No, what happens? We adopted 2 cats.
Right.
Do you want to hear the story?
2 at once?
2 at once.
Oh my gosh.
I swear I was getting scammed by the adoption people because they're a bonded pair. You had to take them both.
No.
Yeah, they said that.
Wow.
They said that, but that's okay. I get it.
All right.
And that, like, when I was handed the cat, like, I noticed the cat didn't have a tail.
No.
Like, what's going on here? What's going on here? I got a defected cat.
Oh yeah.
And then they handed me the other one.
Right.
And the other one looked funny, and it had a eye that it was like partially blind in one eye.
Really? Wow.
And as I'm holding it, I was like, all right, this isn't so bad. And then they said, and it's got herpes.
What?
So
Oh,
here's the cat back.
No.
Thank you. We're leaving now.
Oh, you didn't
And
take
they said, no. It's feline herpes. It's different in that it's something.
They're twins.
They're not twins.
Okay.
They're not twins. But you know what's happened is that I've grown to really like these cats.
That's great.
It turns out that the tail wasn't cut off or
Okay.
anything weird like that. It looks like what they call an American bobtail.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
and that normally doesn't have a tail.
Okay.
The other cat,
Right.
the other cat in the beginning, it was rough.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't know where it was, and it
going
didn't
or
like our
anything?
house. It did not, it just.
Does it see or does it?
No, it does. It
Oh,
does.
oh,
It
okay.
sees out of both eyes.
Oh, okay, great. That's good to know.
So that's over a year ago
Oh,
that we
okay.
did.
Wow. That's
But
great.
my point that I'm trying to get to
that's good.
is that, the cats have adapted to their home, and that,
Great.
they basically stay in our bedroom,
Right.
my wife and I's bedroom, and that
Oh, that's great.
because
They're scared of your dogs.
my son, Carl, you listening, adopted a pit bull
Oh no.
that likes to chase the cats.
Oh wow. That
So the
doesn't work.
So when the dogs aren't around, the
Right.
cats come downstairs.
Oh well.
I'm not saying all of this
Right.
to say, so in our bedroom, we've got cats pretty much hang out there all day.
Right.
And that I had 2 empty pots.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the pots, and I was like, man, they're just, thankfully, the
Okay.
cats did not use it as a litter box.
Right.
But it was empty, and I didn't want to put a houseplant there because I didn't want to necessarily give the cats something to chew.
Sure.
So you know what I did is I was looking through our seed rack, and I saw cat grass,
Right. Oh yeah.
right? And
Right.
if anybody looking on YouTube,
Yeah.
we've got
Cat
some of the
grass here.
packets of
Right.
they're actually, you could use, there are different types. These were oats.
These are roads. Yeah.
So I
You put them in.
put them in the ground, and I just did this 2 weeks ago,
Uh-huh.
and within a week, it was growing.
Nice.
And hey, I'm a skeptical. We sell cat grass.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And cat grass is like one of those things that we sell that it's catnip, which,
Right.
it's drugs for your cat.
Right.
But with cat grass, I kind of was always skeptical. It's like, come on.
Yeah, what's the big deal, right?
You know, after that stuff was up, I'm looking at my cats eating it.
You're no kidding.
Like you said, a cow.
Yeah.
Like, it's like gnawing on the thing. It's like, what's going on?
You started something new.
Yeah, you know, and we take care of our cats. I mean,
that's right.
I think they eat better than we do. But it turns out that the cat grass is something. If anybody out there has cats, you could do it in a small pot. You could do it in a window box. You could do it in, in any container.
Look at that.
It came up within a week.
Quick.
Yep, and it's not bad. It's pretty. It's because it's a thicker blade than regular grass.
Okay.
Grows fast, and it's not like you have to cut it or anything, but it does have a lifespan. We'll get into that in a little bit. But the thing is that the cats use it, and they use it to help them. Ready?
Okay.
Get rid of hairballs. Okay.
Right.
That some, I've found these little fuzz things that are wet in my.
Oh my!
Yes, I have grown to like cats even with hairballs. Okay.
Oh my goodness, man!
But they also have to digest the hair that they get. I mean,
that's right.
Anybody who's had a cat has had to deal with this.
That's right.
And another theory. What did you have right there? It's another theory about why cats eat cat grass.
It's for laxative. It's a laxative, and so it's like it actually has a fiber.
Right.
So, and then there's also trace minerals involved in that. So,
like what?
Oh, you got vitamins A. You have vitamin D.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's very good for the cats to have in their systems. So it contains chlorophyll,
right,
which is really amazing. And this is before they discovered antibiotics.
Okay.
So the remedy, it has some remedies involved in that, and it's for pain, for infections. I know infections is big, ulcers, skin diseases. So a lot of great benefits for this grass to have.
Right.
And so and not only that too, but this is a grass that you can have and not worry about what the cat is eating.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, I have a Dieffenbachia in that same room. Now, Dieffenbachia is dumb cane. If any of you know the common name, but most of the time it's Dieffenbachia.
Right.
And that paralyzes the vocal cords.
Oh, boy.
Now, it's I guess it'll stop the cat from meowing, but it gets them numb, and that a lot of times it's not going to kill them, but there's some plants that they're just certainly better to go after the grass and to eat the grass, and it actually has a benefit.
That's right. So for those who want something that's not going to hurt the cats at all, well, there you have it.
Well, and it's pretty. I mean, it's a nice grass. It has a different texture than other houseplants, rather than like having like a palm or something like that. It comes up and it comes up all at once.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't need to be deep.
No.
I'm almost embarrassed to tell you how old the soil is that I had plants that were growing in there. That soil's got to be 3 years old or older.
Oh my goodness!
But it took to it. It's living. It's got something alive, and it's great. And again, the cat took right to it.
Huh?
I mean, anybody who's gotten a new kitten and has all of a sudden that day when they're using the litter box, it's just like amazing. How did they know? And I'm like that same way with the cat grass. How did the cat know to go that it could eat that? And it was just up, and it made a little bit of a mess because it pulled out the grass, chewed on it, and pulled some of the soil out. But it didn't jump in. It just went to the edge of the pot and just kind of chewed on it.
It knows.
It knew, and it needed that. Like there are some times where you'll see dogs, certainly, like where they're eating grass outside, and cats, it's the same way. Now, these are house cats.
Right.
The adoption, I had to guarantee that I would not allow the cats outside.
Wow. Are you kidding me?
No.
Was that written?
Yes.
Wow.
I had to sign a document that said I wouldn't allow, they were going to be house cats.
No kidding, man. Wow.
Anyway.
That's okay. I mean,
hey,
they've never been out, right?
They snuck out once or twice.
That's all right.
But still, we keep them in, and that's their only way that they're going to be able to get green something green to eat.
That's right.
So if you have a cat,
There you go.
go plant some cat grass.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing though,
Go ahead.
it's only going to last for a short time. It's not going to be like a plant that lasts forever. So when you get the packet of seeds, and again, cat grass is not like one specific thing. Cat grass, it's the one that we have at Bloomers is oats.
Yeah.
But there's other types, right?
There's all sorts of other types. There's
Right.
rye, okay,
Yeah.
barley.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And wheat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And wheat. So you're going to get like maybe 3 weeks out of it. And what'll happen is it'll start turning yellow.
Yellowish, yeah.
And you don't want to overwater it
Yeah.
because what'll happen is it'll begin to rot.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
Yeah,
That's
can-
a good sour smell.
Yeah.
Just water it when it needs it.
Mm-hmm.
Easy to take care of. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Our cats enjoyed it.
You're hooked.
Well, and the pot had nothing in it.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
it had more dust
Dudley,
and
huh?
cobwebs
Yeah,
in
it
it than it
Dudley.
did anything
There you
else.
go.
And where this stuff sprang up within a week.
Yeah, you got green now. You like it. You like going into your bedroom then?
I do.
There you go.
You know, I'm just so surprised that the cats took right to it.
That's great.
So listen, if you've got a cat, go to the garden center, get some cat grass, and go ahead and plant the seeds. And it'll be something that's so easy. So easy.
And
Boom, it's up.
you can always reseed too.
Yeah, and then
That's right.
go through it when it bends in yellow, rip it out,
Rip it
plant
out.
some more.
That's right.
All right.
Gotta love it.
Gotta love it. So next segment coming up.
Yes.
Julie and I are going to talk about birds. Birds are coming.
Birds are coming.
All right, we'll be right back after this. Are you tired of the mice moving into your home with you every fall? Would you like to keep them from coming into your home? Do you dislike using mouse killers around your kids and pets? Bonite has the answer. Mouse Magic. Mouse Magic is an all-natural mouse repellent that keeps mice from coming into your home, summer cabins, cars, boats, RVs, farm equipment, garden sheds, and more. Mouse Magic has a pleasant aroma which smells like spearmint and peppermint, but mice hate it. Mouse Magic repels by smell and works with an irritant that drives mice away. Just use 1 throw pack per average size room and you're mouse free for up to 2 months. Available in a 4-pack box or a 12-pack economy Ziploc bag. Bonite products are family made in America. Mouse Magic can be found at these fine stores: Bloomer's Home and Garden Center, Sewell, Washington Township, New Jersey; Lehigh Valley Garden Center, Allentown, PA; Delray Plus True Value, New Hope, PA. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call us on the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. And if we use your question on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Well, you know, it's the height of bird feeding season.
Oh, yes, it is. Huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we love it.
You know, that there's other birds and there's animals that aren't, like, I call them bully birds.
Oh, yeah. You know, those are the ones that, like, flock into your home, and there's 50 of them, like the blackbirds and the grackles.
Starlings.
Oh, yeah.
Starlings.
They take over.
And I get them down my chimney.
Oh, you
I
do?
can't stand starlings.
Oh, boy.
You
They love
know,
your house, huh?
You know, there's one thing that you can do to prevent those. It's by feeding them
Safflower, yes.
Safflower, that's it.
It's something that we don't even think about, do we?
Well, it's a lot of people want to buy a cheap mix. I mean,
that's right.
I'm buying by price, and that's a mistake. That's a mistake.
I think so. Do you think?
You just got some bird food, right?
Yes, I did.
And you got, what was the seed that you got?
It was sunflower.
So it was whole sunflower, out of the shell.
Out of the shell. No shells at all, which is great because I don't have any mess on my ground.
Right, and every single piece
is eaten.
Yes.
That's
No
what,
mess.
That's right. That's what we like to have.
Yeah. But the thing is every one of those are edible. And, you know, black oil sunflowers, okay, but all those other birds, those bully birds.
They're coming in.
And squirrels.
Oh, yeah, them too.
Squirrels eat it.
That's right.
And I think the age-long battle is for people that feed the birds is the squirrel versus man.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Now,
know that deal.
Safflower,
squirrels
don't like it.
No, they don't.
It's bitter.
Right.
It's bitter to them, and they don't like it. They don't eat it.
Don't eat it at all.
No.
It's good to know.
And safflower, traditional safflower is white.
Right.
And when the holes are taken off, because the bird has to bite into it and open it and then eat it, and the shells do fall.
They do.
But there's a new safflower.
New safflower, yeah. It's brown. It's a brown safflower.
Right.
And it's just been introduced. Is it been introduced just recently?
No. It's
been
around
a
couple of years, at least.
It's kind of young.
Yeah.
But this new, to me, it's new anyway. But it's kind of golden brown, and it's a little thinner than the white. Okay.
Right.
And there's more oil content in it.
Okay.
At least 30% more.
Really?
Yes.
So it's better for the birds.
Better for the birds, yes.
And it's called NutriSaf.
NutriSaf.
That's what we call it at Bloomers. I mean, there may be other, places that call it something but
different.
You're looking for that brown
Golden
color.
brown, yes.
That brown color.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I have friends that buy safflower religiously.
Always. Okay.
Because they just don't want the mess from the other birds that are going in. And let's back up and talk about cheap seed. Doesn't all get eaten.
No. Where does it end up on
the ground?
Yeah,
on the ground. What happens? The birds pick out the stuff that they want.
Mm-hmm.
Like red Milo. I mean, there aren't many birds that eat red Milo, and if you're buying an inexpensive mix, you're probably filling your feeder more often than if you were using the straight seed.
That's right. You're losing money. You're losing product.
Time.
Oh, yeah.
And so many birds like safflower. I mean, if you look at a cardinal mix, it's almost all safflower.
Oh, wow.
It's almost all safflower, and
like that.
cardinals love it. And I know that's one of my favorite birds to see is a cardinal.
The cardinal. Yeah.
And one thing, if you're starting out with a brand new feeder, should maybe like you are, Hul, you're going to go and start with that whole sunflower.
That's right.
And you'll attract birds right away. You'll be amazed. They find your feeder.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes with the safflower, that it takes them a while to find your feeder.
How about that?
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. So, but if you're a regular bird feeder, in that you go out and feed the wild birds, you can go ahead and switch your seed up
from safflower to sunflower.
From regular seed mix or from black oil sunflower to safflower, and then you'll get rid of some of the squirrel problems you might have.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like that idea of not having the outer, husk. Just having a clean. I mean, just
safflower. No, you got that wrong. Safflower does have a shell.
Oh, it does have.
And that's the difference. That white safflower that you regularly see, that white falls on the ground. So that shell, that white against like the soil or mulch, it's a glaring contrast. But the brown safflower, that NutriSaf, you don't see it.
Yeah,
it
nice.
blends in.
That's
the best part of it.
Okay.
That's the best part of it.
That is.
Well, I can't say that. It's the best part of it is because squirrels and grackles don't like it.
Yeah, that's right. And another thing is that there's also more protein in the brown too.
That's right. So you're benefiting the birds, and once they find your feeder, that that you're going to have them. They're going to keep coming back and keep coming back. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. In my feeders right now, I have mostly straight sunflower hearts. Okay. But if the squirrels get to be a little annoying, like I have 2 squirrels that go and try to get into my feeders, but I have squirrel-proof feeders. I have a brome squirrel-proof feeder.
Right. They can't get in there.
Right. And that they can't get in there, but they still try. I mean, they're acrobats.
It's fun.
I don't know about fun. All I see is they're pigs.
Pigs. They try to get that food out of there so they can eat it.
They are.
My goodness.
Yeah, I didn't buy it for them.
No.
But so I'll switch over to Safflower
Oh, you will.
if they get a little too much.
Oh, okay.
So any of you guys that are out near woods or anything like that, I'm pretty lucky that I don't have a lot of tree lines near me. So I don't have a lot of squirrels. But man, if I did, it would be all Safflower.
It would be. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the way to go.
Yep. And again, it's a ton of birds like it.
Oh, yeah.
All the songbirds and cardinals especially absolutely love it.
They love it.
And get that Nutrisaf because that's the one that you don't see on the ground.
That's right. I like that idea.
Yep.
Yep. That's very good. So stick with that Nutrisaf if you know.
Yeah.
I think it'll work for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Try it. Give it a try.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
And the grackles don't like it.
No, and grackles are the worst.
Oh, my goodness.
I tell you. Anyway. All right. Coming up in our next segment. We'll see. What we're going to talk about, Julio?
Oh, we're going to talk about camellias, remember?
That's right.
Oh, my goodness. I love them.
My camellia's in bloom.
Oh, is that wonderful?
That is. If you want to see my camellia, go to Bloomer's Facebook page, okay? Right. So Facebook / Bloomer's Home and Garden Center, all spelled out.
That's right.
And you'll get there and see my camellia in bloom.
Red.
We'll tell you all about it right after these messages. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and EcoPeat. EcoPeat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA. Bloomers in the Garden is an hour-long gardening radio program that airs to over 6 million residents throughout the Delaware Valley. From Allentown to Wilmington, from the Main Line to the Jersey Shore, Bloomers in the Garden can be heard twice each Saturday morning, first at 8 a.m. on 860 WWDB and again at 9 on 610 a.m. ESPN Radio. Each episode of Bloomers in the Garden will be broadcast on Bloomer's Facebook page and available as a podcast on bloomersinthegarden.com. Bloomers in the Garden is adding sponsors. Share your message to our large, diverse group of listeners. Commercials and segment sponsorships are available at incredibly affordable prices. Let Bloomers in the Garden get your message out to one of the largest and most diverse populations in the country. If you're interested in joining us in the garden, please visit bloomersinthegarden.com or email len@bloomers.com. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call us on the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. And if we use your question on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Oh, Len, I tell you what. I happen to be looking at Facebook, our own Facebook, Bloomers in the Garden.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I see a flower.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I was like, wow.
In bloom right now.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes, January.
Yep.
How about that?
Yeah. And it was a camellia.
Yes.
Now, camellias are a great plant.
Oh,
and that they do flower. There are certain varieties. They'll flower in the fall. And then but mine starts flowering. Mine started flowering right at Christmas. I walked outside and all of a sudden the picture that's on our Facebook page, that was taken, I think it was like right around Christmas or the day afterwards.
Wow, that was great.
It
surprised you, huh?
Yeah, well, it always does. I've had that camellia. I've got two of them there. I've had them for at least 5 years now.
Wow.
Beautiful, evergreen, beautiful flower, bright red flower.
Oh, yes. You can't miss it, huh?
That's right. Some of our listening area, though, it's borderline hardy.
Yeah.
Even for me, that borderline already.
Zone 6. Yeah.
Zone 6, and there's that fluctuation between 6A, 6B.
Yeah.
Mostly it's better 7.
7.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
But with a little bit of protection, you can get them to survive. Yeah, it's. I have mine where there's a natural windbreak.
Oh, that's great.
It's
and that's really helpful.
Right.
Real helpful.
Right.
We talked about that. I mean,
yeah.
About the wind.
Yep. Wind. Winter wind is the worst because it's dry, it's unrelenting, and it just sucks the foliage. It's like going into the desert, but being frozen. So it's just can kill a lot of plants, and that's what it's the dryness that does it more so a lot than the cold.
It's a shame.
But with camellias, it's the cold.
It's a cold, yeah.
Yeah. But one of the things with the fact that camellias, it's the japonica variety. So Camellia japonica variety.
Right.
It's you need to know genus, species, variety, species. You need to make sure that you're checking the hardiness zone when you're buying a camellia. Right. Now, you're not going to find a camellia at Bloomers for sale right now.
No.
You can't put them in now. Now is not a good time to transplant them.
Yeah, it's too cold.
It needs to adapt to your environment, not the shock of the winter, but it needs to do that over the course of a couple of seasons, meaning you want it spring, summer, fall, and then into the winter season. Mine started small. Started small in that they were probably 3-gallon size plants. So they were about 2 foot.
2 foot? What's it now?
Probably about 2 to 3 foot wide and probably about the same in height.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty evergreen.
Oh, yeah, they're wonderful. Now, it can go about, what, 6 foot?
No. In this area, it's just not going to get that big.
Do it.
There are some varieties that do. Okay. But again, it needs protection. So you're not going to do a hedge of camellias unless you have superior a protection of something.
Yes.
You're going to have it nestled in with other plants. Like, for instance, I have a dwarf blue spruce, which is a pyramidal. Cester's blue is the variety.
Right.
Gets to be about this. Ours is pretty old. It's probably about 10 years old or more. Wow. It's probably about 10 feet tall.
Wow.
But it's nice and compact.
Okay.
And I have them nestled right in there.
Oh,
and it's just loving that spot.
Oh, okay.
And so I have one on one side, one on the other. Plus, it's in my driveway where we park our cars. So the cars are blocking that winter wind. It's a very protected area. Right. So and it loves it. A little bit of shade, not a whole lot, but a little bit of shade.
Right.
And that you'll notice that they don't flower on the top. They flower starting at the bottom of the lower branches and then work up.
Right.
And if we have like a severe cold, like if we get down to the teens,
struggles,
the flowers disappear.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily struggle. It can survive. The flowers don't. Like we had 0 last year, and both my guys are still alive.
Oh, are they? Wow.
They're still alive. Okay. So it was able, but you have to check the variety. Right.
Now the japonica is the most tolerant around this area.
Right. Right. And there's hybrids, lots of hybrids. Like
hybrids.
Winter Interlude is one that's, again, that's at 6B7.
Right.
That's one that's going to be one of the winter bloomings. And you have camellias that bloom during different times.
Different times, yeah. Fall.
Yeah. For instance, like you were talking about cold weather, if it gets really, really cold, the ones that are in bloom will shrivel up and all the petals will go.
Fall.
But the buds will remain. And they may open
later
a couple days later. So it's not that all the buds fall off.
No.
So again, it looks great right now.
Sure.
Go to Bloomer's Facebook page. There's a picture of the flower, and again, that's Facebook / Bloomers Home and Garden Center. You'll see what you could have in your yard.
That's right.
I love camellias.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful. They come in white, pink.
Yes.
Red.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine is a red with all a yellow center.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Wonderful.
It's more of a single flower. There's double flowers.
Some of them look
Fantastic
like
plants.
peonies. Some of them look like
That's right.
roses. They're amazing.
They're amazing plants.
I think
Underused.
Again, that's what,
Gotcha.
yeah. I
Beat
was
you
just
to
about
it.
to say that.
Beat you to it. You know,
Underused.
I would put it in that family
Uh-huh.
of rhododendron azalea,
Okay.
where it has that characteristic to it.
Yes. Yeah, it has that glossy leaves.
Yep, in dark green,
Oh,
rich
yeah.
dark green color.
Beautiful, isn't it?
But where some azaleas and rhododendrons will drop those lower leaves, this sucker's looking pretty nice. But it loves where it's at, so you can't plant it just anywhere. It's got to
right.
be protected from that wind.
So you got to know where to put it
Yep, and plant it in the
in
spring.
the spring. Yeah.
And look, check the labels.
Mhm.
You're going to check the variety and see when it blooms, because you'll have some that will bloom in the fall,
yeah.
or you'll have there's some spring
Spring,
varieties
yeah,
that
some
will be
spring.
blooming.
Yes.
We get ours in spring, usually around
Yeah,
April,
April.
sometimes late March,
Yeah.
and you will love it, because it's one of those fun plants that somebody's going to do a double take walking by and say, that thing's in bloom, and it's,
know.
it's 30 degrees outside.
Yeah, you brought some in that were blooming in spring, and
Yeah, there were a few.
a few. Yeah,
There are a few.
and people
Yep.
bought them right up.
Yeah,
Boom, they brought them right
some
up.
people know what they are.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
it's one of those.
Yeah.
One of those goes right up there. Fool your friends.
Yeah.
you've got something that flowers in January.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
It's funny. It's like a little friend that
Uh-huh.
blooms when the season is over, and where you think that it's going to be
That's
just a
right.
winter cold, and then that thing pops out, and it's like, wow,
Yeah, it's wonderful.
it is.
It's great.
It's all right. Get a camellia.
Yes,
Get a couple.
got a few. Yeah.
Yeah, but check both when they bloom
Yep.
and their
Zone.
hardiness zone,
Yep, zone.
and
It's
plant them
important.
in an area where it's protected.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Our next segment coming up.
Yep.
I've got a big hole where my Christmas tree
Oh, my
was. What am I going to
goodness.
do? I got to fill it. We'll be right back to tell you after these messages. Are you tired of the mice moving into your home with you every fall? Would you like to keep them from coming into your home? Do you dislike using mouse killers around your kids and pets? Bonite has the answer. Mouse Magic. Mouse Magic is an all-natural mouse repellent that keeps mice from coming into your home, summer cabins, cars, boats, RVs, farm equipment, garden sheds, and more. Mouse Magic has a pleasant aroma which smells like spearmint and peppermint, but mice hate it. Mouse Magic repels by smell and works with an irritant that drives mice away. Just use one throw pack per average size room and you're mouse free for up to 2 months. Available in a 4-pack box or a 12-pack economy Ziploc bag. Bonite products are family made in America. Mouse Magic can be found at these fine stores: Feeney's, Feasterville, PA; Dublin Agway, Dublin, PA; Primex Garden Center, Glenside, PA. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call us on the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. And if we use your question on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Every year it happens.
It does.
Take the Christmas tree out, I move the big chair, and now all of a sudden I've got a gigantic hole in my living room. I'm like, what am I going to put there?
A hole in
You
the
know, and I
living
like where the chair's been moved to. I've gotten used to that, and I still have this hole. What
Yeah.
should I do, Julio?
Let me tell you something, Len.
I'm listening.
Okay, for those of us out here, we love green plants.
Yes, we do.
It's a great idea. This is the time to get that beautiful section there filled with plants.
That's right. And, it's one of the most popular times for houseplants.
That's right.
Just for that reason.
That's right.
Yeah, you can go ahead and fill it with, a regular old 10-inch house plant that's tall or whatever. That you brought up a good idea the other day. What was your suggestion?
You buy a plant stand, a tall one.
Yeah.
Okay, and put that beautiful one piece on the top of the plant stand, and then surround it with others that you love.
That's a great idea.
Okay, so you have an area of your favorite house plants.
That's right.
Different pots, different sizes.
a myriad of life.
That's right. Oh, isn't that wonderful?
$10 word again.
My goodness.
You know what? One of my favorite, and it's small, is a parlor palm.
Yes.
Do they? Do you have a parlor?
No.
No.
Is that an old?
It is
an old phrase?
I had an aunt that had a parlor. It was the most important room in the house for her. It's like, well, we're in the parlor.
There you go.
Well, a parlor palm is a dwarf palm. Doesn't get real big, and it's perfect for a plant stand.
Okay.
So you have that green. It looks like a big bushy areca palm, but in miniature.
Small.
Yep.
It's not that huge. Plant. It's not that huge ones.
No. Easy to take care of. Likes low light.
Right. Perfect. That'd be perfect.
Does great in low light. And it fills up that space.
Yeah.
It fills up that space, and because it also, it's going to be more tall, than it is wide. Yes. Where a lot of if you're doing like a terrarium or something like that. Yeah. But this is something that looks like a real house plant, and it can just go in a real pretty pot. Easy to grow.
Yep. It's your centerpiece.
It's all about low light. It's low light. Even if with the parlor palm, if you put it in too much light, it actually can burn it. So it's the perfect plant. It's a perfect plant. Do you have another idea?
Yeah, you can put succulents around that if you like. There's certain ones that will take a little less.
Talk about a hot plant. All succulents.
Yes.
It's succulents. You can transplant them.
Transplant it.
That Fertilome succulent soil.
Yeah, that'll work perfect.
They have nailed and found a trend. Right. Often there is no soil. There's regular potting soil where this succulent mix that they have is perfect for doing terrariums or doing like a little. People can do even a fairy garden of succulents.
I like that.
Where it's a little scene. It's a great.
That's another great idea. The fairy garden. Having a little setup there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Terrariums, of course.
Terrariums, yes. You could do that.
Orchids.
Orchids. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Orchids are easy to care for, ladies and gentlemen. Do not fear orchids.
Oh no, they're easy. I gave one to my neighbor.
Yeah.
I told her where to put it.
Yeah.
And then it's easy. You just water it once a week.
That's probably. So what did you tell her? What advice did you? Just water it once a week? What about light?
Light. Make sure that you're able to read, the newspaper.
Okay.
It doesn't need, like direct sun or anything. It doesn't need to be.
Sometimes that's worse, where all of a sudden all the blooms fall off.
That's right.
Because it's drying out too fast. And that goes back to, like, where are orchids in the wild?
In the wild,
They're usually in a little bit of shade, in the cover of trees, like growing.
Protected.
Yep. Not sitting in a full sun meadow. They're going to be in a shaded area. So you don't want to necessarily give them too much sun.
No, you don't.
And if they go out of bloom, don't worry about it.
No.
It just treat them as a house plant.
That's right.
And just keep watering. And you'd be surprised all of a sudden it sends up a new bloom.
That's right. That's a great point.
Orchids, that's going to be another show.
And not only that, that's another show. But, that's my neighbor loves it. Oh my goodness. Oh, Julio. She knows I'm a gardener.
There's another thing too. Save a spot for a flowering plant. Not like an orchid is a traditional flowering plant. Like people are used to orchids, but for instance, a cyclamen, putting a cyclamen, and you can even do a dish garden where you put a cyclamen in.
Right.
And then when the cyclamen's done, and like we talked about a few weeks ago about cyclamen, when they wilt down, or all of a sudden you think you're killing it, it may be just going dormant.
A little dormant,
Put it off to the side. Don't water it. Give it some time to go dormant and go through a dormant cycle. And then what you'll do is it'll pop back on its own.
Right.
Or what can they do with it?
They could throw it out.
Yeah. Hey, it's okay.
That's right.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that.
It's okay. A brown thumb is earned green by failure. Not by success.
That's right.
So everybody out there, you just try. And if a plant dies off, it may not be your fault. Like cyclamen, they just are going dormant. Yeah. And sometimes you just don't have the inclination or the desire to wait for it to come back.
Right.
But you've enjoyed it while it was in blooms. I mean, if you ever look at a cyclamen, the blooms are gorgeous. And you spread the leaves apart and you look down in and it's filled with buds and it just keeps blooming and blooming. But when it's done and you move on.
That's right. Get a new plant.
And so you just keep, that's going to be your spot for your flowering plant. So you could go anything from cyclamen to kalanchoe to mini rose to cineraria.
And
then all of a sudden it's going to be Easter. Then you've got a spot for bulbs and hyacinths and things like that. And you can force your own bulbs too.
That's right.
But again, keep a spot that you're always putting something flowering. That's
right.
Like a flowering plant that is where I love orchids, but they're kind of tall and they're not like a nice contained plant.
Contained, like the cyclamen,
It's like a cyclamen is. Or,
I like your idea. We talked about it like a couple weeks ago, maybe about the bathroom being a great spot.
It is. It is.
That's another
that parlor
area.
palm is perfect. If you get a little bit of light, it should be fine.
That's right.
It should be fine. The other one is aglaonemia. Aglaonemia is my favorite houseplant because it gets little care. You don't have to do a lot with it. Dracaena, that's easy. And then you can always go with a bigger plant. Like, for instance, you go with just go big, Areca palm. Put it in there. It's the floor plant. Or you could go with
big statement.
Yeah. A ficus. Hot plant last year was fiddly fig. Fiddly fig is actually a variety of ficus. That's a good plant.
Great plant.
Great house plant. And it will fill up that space.
Right.
Put something living in that area.
That's right.
Where that Christmas tree was or where you had those Christmas decorations.
Yeah, you're going to love that.
Yeah. Try to put something living around because, boy, it just makes the world that you're living in so much different. Much different. Your family will appreciate it too.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing like having something green in your room.
That's right.
It warms it right up.
It does.
It does.
It makes a big difference.
Big difference.
Take our word for it.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, Len, 2019, and we're dreaming. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it. I can't believe it's 2019.
It is.
I am still like writing stuff out. I'm putting 18 on my. I had to void like 3 checks the other day. I kept doing it.
You're kidding.
Anyway,
you get used to it.
Well, it's time to dream though.
It is.
It's the winter.
Yeah,
it's the time to start planning for next year's garden.
Yeah, don't wait till the end. You'll be rushing.
Well, it's fun now because you get to review what happened last year.
That's right.
Like, for instance, how did everything go?
That's
did you have any issues with diseases or insects? I know some people that actually keep a journal, the garden journal.
I know. Yeah, garden journal. I know you like journals.
I do like journal. I keep a journal. It's a personal journal.
That's
and
right.
it just,
personal,
but
I'm
a
sure
gardening journal.
I'm sure there's a garden things in there.
There are.
Right?
There are several things about a garden center
That's
named
right.
Bloomers.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's in there,
There are
right?
a lot of things in there.
Okay.
And all of the people that we love that are
right.
probably in there at least
there
once.
you go.
But in your garden journal, you can keep track of it's like, you know what? That variety of pepper was not as hot as it said it was.
That's right.
That variety of tomato just sprawled everywhere and it didn't really yield. The tomatoes were small,
Right.
And that's the kind of thing you think about. Also, how am I going to change it up?
That's right.
For instance, I said I was going to invigorate my garden this year.
Okay.
But I've got to cut down a bunch of trees that are blocking that area. So, for instance, is your garden getting enough sunlight?
Right.
Or do you have to maybe visit with a neighbor next door and ask him if you could cut down his tree or at least limb it up so that you get more light?
Right.
A lot of problems with that. Like people will put fences around their garden, but the garden's so small that it ends up the fences are 6 foot tall and it's actually shading things, so you're not getting good sunlight.
Yes, it's amazing how that can turn real quick, huh? Like,
Yeah.
With your neighbors cutting trees, all of a sudden you're gone from
Visit
one
your
extreme to the
neighbor.
other.
I know that may not be, maybe you never talked to them in 20 years, but go over and say hello. It's like, hey, let them know that you'll bring them some tomatoes. Let them know you'll get them some zucchini. So you get them some zucchini when that comes in.
That's right.
But you've got to start planting these things, and it's fun to think about now because your garden's not planted. You can go ahead and start thinking. Do you want to add more flowers?
That's right.
One of the trends we talked about this on a couple of shows ago, where it's a mixture of flowering and vegetables.
Yes.
Dwarf vegetables.
Yeah, isn't it amazing?
That's
Who would have thought of that?
Yep. And we have that. There's a few dwarf types of berry plants that I think they're so cool. That it's a dwarf type of blueberry,
right?
And it's low like a boxwood.
Okay.
And everybody
was that a Monrovia one that you got?
It is. It is. And that what they do is that you can basically mimic those gardens that are sheared boxwood, and instead of using dwarf English boxwood that can be pricey, you've got the blueberry, dwarf blueberries.
Oh, that's great.
There's thornless raspberries in this series. It's very cool. Very cool. Lots of new and interesting plants that are out there.
I got that. Yeah,
but so you think about, maybe you want to do that. Maybe you want to add a perennial section. Maybe you want to get it bigger. Maybe you want to go smaller.
Yeah. Got a lot of choices.
You do.
Yeah.
And it's the time now to think about that.
That's right.
And
you can add things too, like.
Oh yeah. You said you're ripping out your entire front and replanting. Are you going to plant a vegetable garden this year?
No, I have in the south side of my house, which is the side.
Mm-hmm.
I have my vegetable garden.
Okay.
And it's a raised garden.
Okay, and that's one thing too.
Yeah.
I mean, we have veggie pods. That we sell at Bloomers.
Oh, wonderful.
They are fantastic.
Oh my goodness. People rave about them.
They do, and what they are is they're a raised bed that you can put on a patio or you can put it on a deck.
It's got wheels on it, right?
Yeah, and like I was complaining about my back hurts today.
That's right.
And it's a perfect thing for some gardeners that are not really interested in putting in the work into digging in the soil and bending over
sometimes you're a little slower, right?
Yeah, for folks that are getting up there.
Yeah, that's right.
The veggie pod allows you to put those vegetables in. Now you're not going to grow corn, but you still can grow lettuce, and you can have multiple crops. One thing I like about it is that they have a cover that closes.
Oh yeah, that's even better.
The closed cover can keep insects out, but it still lets the light through.
That's right.
Very cool. Veggie pod. Come to Bloomers and come get one. They're awesome.
Big hit this year, huh?
Yep. Yeah. They are.
Big hit.
They are.
They're wonderful.
The one thing that too is where water, like one of the chores, like we talked about how rainy it was, but if we go through a drought, like sometimes you don't have a good water source.
Yeah, especially August.
Yeah, and if you go and set up a rain barrel, now
that's what I want.
I want to go do a rain barrel.
I want to do this year. I want to get one
connected to the downspout of your home.
Yeah,
goes into there. It has an overflow, so it doesn't overflow all over the place. But you have water at the source of your garden, and the pressure from the actual amount of water in there is enough to water your plants.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot. Yeah, I've got some areas that are hard to water, and that's what I do.
Yeah, easy to water even.
Yep.
So that's a great tool to have. I think you're conserving, and you're also taking what's free.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
That's right. You don't need to call a plumber. You can do it yourself.
Yeah, you're a businessman. We know that's going to help.
Tell
us.
me I'm the money guy.
That's right.
The other thing too is now's the time to I got you a free subscription. Oh. Well, not free because you got it free.
Garden Gate right here.
Garden Gate. Garden Gate is my favorite magazine for gardening. There are other good ones out there. There's horticulture. Southern Living is good, but a lot of time it's our hardiness zone isn't covered. So, but it's a great resource.
Garden Gate has so many ideas. You can spend all day on it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh boy,
up to date, smart.
Oh, smart.
It's
great ideas.
Easy to read.
Easy to
Simple. Read, not snobby.
Mm-hmm.
There's a section in there that I love that gives ideas to gardeners, and if you put and their idea gets used, like us, if you call our hotline, Bloomers hotline, we'll give you a T-shirt. They'll give you, I think, $20.
Yeah, I like that. They have great ideas on there. People who do things that you never think about.
They do, and you know what? Go out and get a copy of the Old Farmer's Almanac.
Oh yes, we talked about that.
Old Farmer's Almanac is a great publication. It gives you guidelines for like when you should be planting your peas or when you should be doing this, and it helps you dream.
It does, and there's a lot of great books out there you can buy.
There are. There are.
It's a good time to read because you're home. It's cold.
There are. My favorite perennial guy, right? Alan Armitage.
Armitage, yes.
Alan Armitage.
And you just gave me a book, Len. I
did.
love it. Yeah.
I did. It's not about the hat.
No, it's not about the hat.
Yeah. Alan Armitage is a great guy from, he actually connected with the University of Georgia. And he is the perennial man.
Mr. Perennial, yeah.
But you'll find in that book that it's more than the hat. It's more than perennials, too.
Yeah, I know.
But he has an online app that I've enjoyed using.
Oh, yeah?
You know, some apps you get them and you're just like, why do I have this stupid thing?
That's right.
But not only that, he has an online course for perennials.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
And that I'm going to be proposing that to Bloomers employees. If they go on, they pass, they get a bonus.
Wow, that'd be great.
And it's, I mean,
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. Right?
Yeah, I like that idea.
But I'll tell you what, it's a great time to dream about the garden. And everything now, you know, you can find good ideas and you can start getting things down on paper and start looking at varieties that you want to do. Right. And I'll tell you what, keep dreaming.
That's right.
Keep dreaming, because before you know, it'll be time to plant.
Yeah,
and you'll have a plant. And you can always change it up before you plant.
That's right. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Well, we're going to be right back for the close of the show, right after this.
Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
See me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
I'm amazed to see my cat walk up and take a mouthful of grass.
Oh, we love it. Oh, my goodness.
What else do we learn about
today?
my
goodness. You know, it's about the camellia. Oh, my goodness, Len.
Yeah.
You know, you've got some great things going on in your home. You know that.
Yeah, well, I do.
Camellia, cat.
My cat
grass.
and the camellias.
Oh,
Maybe
goodness.
stick with the letter C.
Yes.
You know, also the safflower.
Safflower.
Feed your birds safflower. If you're sick of the squirrels and fighting grackles and things, try that Nutrisaf.
That's right.
You don't see it on the ground everywhere.
Yeah.
That's a great
product.
Great seed to use. You know, if you're starting new with a bird feeder, I'd get them started on straight sunflower hearts or sunflower meats. And then go to that, transition to that. You can even mix it and put it like 50-50.
50-50. Oh, that's great. That's great, yes.
Yep.
And another thing, it's spring, but keep those plants coming into your home. They bring a lot of joy into your home.
That's right. Fill up those empty spaces left over from Christmas decorations.
Yes.
And put a plant there.
Yes, green, flowers. You have a lot of options.
Living.
Yes.
Living. We are meant to be around living things.
That's correct.
That's right. And then finally, you know, talking about what we're going to do with next year and starting to dream. It's a great time.
Great time.
You know, seed catalogs are starting to pour in.
That's right.
Get ready. It'll be here before you know it.
That's right.
We were talking about the flower show.
Oh, it's coming up.
It is. You know, we're going to talk next week a little bit about the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society. So we'll see you next week.
See you in the garden.